pub has selected something as it ran past her out of control as normal. What did you choose for us today?
Halfway through the week today, I thought we deserved a mezcal mule. So mezcal, ginger beer and lime.
Is that what it's called? Oh, okay, all right.
A mezcal mule. You can get a Moscow mule, which is vodka, but a mezcal mule has mezcal in it.
All right, very good. Okay, thank you. That sounds like a healthy alternative. Today's confession comes from Malcolm. It's, it's sort of a 12 certificate in as much as it's... Before we start, I think we should say everyone is okay in the end.
It's that bad, is it? Goodness me.
Simon and your band of dignitaries, I have lived for many years with a guilty secret. I'm ashamed to say that I have never fessed up to my tale to my family, which has led to much head-scratching on their part and much looking the other way on my part. So many years have passed now that I hope the impact of my admission is dulled over time.
Okay.
My wife and I have 2 sons, now in their 40s, and both have their own wonderful families. For the purposes of anonymity, I will call them Elder and Younger. 10 years ago, when he was about 35, Elder started to develop an eye issue. If he was tired, one eye would wander slightly off-center, as if his eyes had started to do the splits. We would comment on this, but apparently it didn't affect his eyesight, didn't seem to bother him. However, after several families suggested that perhaps he should seek professional advice, he did. In the days following his appointment with an eye specialist, Elder visited us. It seems the reason for his wandering eye is because he had suffered a cranial fracture around his eye socket many years earlier. This was a shock both to him and to us. It's not the sort of thing that goes unnoticed. The specialist must be mistaken. However, we couldn't let it go. We searched through photo albums looking for the wandering eye. There it was, age 20. There it was, age 15. There it was at 12. Very slight, but now we're looking for it. There it is. We could trace it back as early as 7 years old.
Wow.
We were baffled and mystified. So, said Elder, did something happen when I was 6 or 7? My wife and I looked at each other in genuine bemusement, reminiscing about events 30-odd years earlier. Nothing. And then, while sitting around our dining table, surrounded by photos, I suffered what I can only describe as iced lightning shooting down my back. Quick, where's my poker face? The events of 30 years replayed through my head in graphic detail. My heart raced, and during all this, my demeanor didn't change. I had got away with it, but now many years have passed since we sat around that table, and occasionally the subject reappears. And every time it does, my acting skills are tested to the full. So now it's time to confess.
Wow.
When the boys were about 6 and 5, I took them camping, just us men. It was a beautiful campsite on the banks of the Thames, where the river is shallow enough to wade, and there were quiet open areas and forested walks, just beautiful. We put our small tent up together. Elder took the inside, putting up the poles and laying out the ground sheet, whilst myself and Younger took the outside together, banging in the tent pegs and fixing the guide ropes. During this man-bonding exercise, a rather large and beautiful butterfly came to rest on the almost translucent canvas of the tent. Elder stopped, laying on the ground sheet inside the tent, fascinated by this close encounter with nature. He slowly crept closer to the canvas where he could see this extraordinary creature in its full glory. Matt has his head in his hands at the moment. This is what we'd come for. It was a captivating and enchanting moment. Younger had also seen the butterfly. He got closer to see the magnificence of nature. And then he picked up the mallet and hit it with all his force. However, Elder was by this time up close to the butterfly and caught the full force of the mallet. I rushed into the tent. Elder was lying prone. I sat him up, checked him over, no signs of damage. Thank heavens for that. The following day, there was a bit of a bump on the side of his head. I was solely responsible for the children for a week, so I did what I thought best, which was nothing. The lump went down before the end of the week, so that was okay. In the days that followed, we had a wonderful holiday, so many adventures and experiences. The mallet incident paled into insignificance. And there it stayed. Until now. Nice. So, Simon, I know it's a shocker. I would like you to relieve me of my burden. Cast holy water upon me and tell me that all is forgiven. What do you think? Well, I mean, everything seems fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine.
Yeah.
Everything is fine. I have no idea where. I had no idea where that was going, but as I suspect you didn't. But it is quite a shocker. And Malcolm wants to know how he stands with the nation. Let's check in with shocked producer Susie.
Well, Malcolm, I don't really know what to say with this, because you're right. Everything is fine. Your two boys are now, older. They've got their own families. That's all lovely. However, going back to when they were 6 and 7, that was a head injury. That was a really big head injury. And I can't forgive you, I don't think, for not seeking some medical help at that stage. And as much as it's all fine in the end, it might not have been. So therefore, I'm not going to forgive you, Malcolm.
Also, poor Butterfly. I mean, how come Younger was grown up to think there's something beautiful? Wallop.
Yeah.
Smack it.
I mean, actually, clearly, Young had a very bad aim as things go. But brother from another gutter.
Well, yes, I think we are overlooking the role of younger brother in this, and clearly, younger brother bears some responsibility. And who knew he was going to whip out the mallet and attack the butterfly? No one could have seen that coming, and certainly not you, Malcolm. That would be a big reason for me choosing to forgive. And it was probably one of those rubber mallets as well, and they're fine, I think, normally. Yes, and also the mallet incident. There's a title for a movie: The Bourne Identity, then the mallet incident. So I am definitely going to forgive.
Well, so everything is fine. We're now decades on. Everyone's been checked over.
Yeah,
so what do you think? Does Malcolm get your forgiveness? Yes or